guys, today I am going to share with you guys my desk tour for my desk area. I feel like this desk has definitely reached its final form, its fullest potential, and it took about a year, but I'm just really happy with how it turned out. I think it's just perfect as a space for me to work and be productive and creative all at the same time. So I like to say that this desk was Frankenstein together because it is an accumulation of a bunch of things that I already owned and didn't have a place for, and a bunch of furniture that I bought for other areas of the house that I had left over and I didn't really know what to do with it. But with all that said, I am just really happy to share with you guys this desk, and let's get started with the table. So the table itself is from IKEA and is this white tabletop with these white legs underneath, and the whole table is 200 centimeters or 2 meters long. But the actual wooden part, the part that I consider to be my actual desk, is from another piece of IKEA furniture called the Lack, which is a coffee table. So the coffee table is 118 centimeters with a white stained oak effect, and I really liked it because I wanted that wooden effect for my desktop. We're using the coffee table downstairs as intended, but we liked it without the little middle shelf underneath where this is actually supposed to go, and instead I took it and placed it on top of my table to use as a table cover. And the white table itself works pretty well on its own as a table, but I found that when I was typing on it, it would kind of like shake and it just didn't feel very sturdy. So with the additional like wood top that I've placed on it, it's definitely a lot sturdier, and I also get a little bit of like extra room so that I can put more stuff on the table. Next up is the main focal point of the desk and the room, honestly, but this is my ultra wide Samsung monitor. All my monitors are Samsung and I'll just kind of end it up that way, but this is the Samsung 34-inch Odyssey G5 gaming monitor. There is a slight curve to this monitor, but yeah, it's freaking huge and more than enough for working as a UX designer or just gaming on my Switch. The colors show up really nicely on this monitor, so it actually makes it really nice to watch anime on too, but usually when I'm working, I treat this as a dual monitor. So with my main workspace on the left and then all of my like Slack or Tandem or whatever I'm listening to on YouTube on the right. But I really love this monitor because of how big of a workspace it gives me and of how flexible it is too. I usually connect it to my 14-inch MacBook Pro when working, and I stand the MacBook up with my mocked carry sleeve. Lately, I've also been using a mechanical keyboard. So I want to give a huge thank you to Knewkey for gifting me their Rymec Classic mechanical keyboard. This is a really beautiful keyboard, and more than anything, it's just really fun to use. Aesthetically, it fits in so nicely with my setup, and I'm just really happy that I got it in the black color because it really adds a nice bit of contrast to my desk setup and gives it such a nice, classy, and cozy professional look. So this keyboard can be connected through Bluetooth and USB, and it also connects to 3 devices. So I have it connected to my laptop for work, my iPad for scripting YouTube videos, and my desktop. And I know what you guys are thinking, Charlie, you already have a mechanical keyboard for your desktop. And you're right, I do. But lately I've been kind of about how obnoxiously loud my keyboard is. So my original mechanical keyboard works really well for gaming because it has that loud, satisfying clicking sound and also takes quite a bit of pressure for a keyboard to press down, which is great because, you know, the harder you press on a key and on a keyboard when you're gaming, the more damage you actually do. But when I find myself needing to type out YouTube scripts or emails or a lot of documents at one time, I find myself actually getting quite tired, or my fingers start feeling a bit of pain because of how much like effort it takes to hit every key. So for the Rymec keyboard, there are 3 options on what kind of switch you want, and I chose the brown switches. So I'm just going to do a little comparison test between my old keyboard and my new keyboard. And you can definitely hear just how much more subtle and satisfying and smooth the typing sound is from my Rymec keyboard with the brown switches versus my old keyboard. This is also one of the smallest keyboards I've ever used, which I was worried about at the beginning, but I think with the size and the shape of keys, it's actually really easy to type on and I haven't had any issues. If you're interested in trying out any of Knewkey's mechanical keyboards, you can use my code Charlie and the link I have in my description to get 10% off your purchase. Behind the monitor, I attached RGB lights, and I usually have it set on this pinky peachy color, which I really enjoy, but depending on what kind of game I'm playing or I don't know, like what mood I'm in, I also end up changing the color too. I will say though that the only thing that's not so great about this monitor is that it doesn't have an adjustable stand, so that's why I ended up DIYing a desk shelf. For this DIY, I definitely took an easier route than my other desk shelf on my other desk, but I bought myself an extra billy shelf from IKEA, and then for the legs, I got these 4 little wooden legs from IKEA as well. So this was a super simple and cost-effective DIY. I've seen monitor shelves go up to like $200 or $300, where this one cost about $45. All I did was glue the legs to the shelf and make sure that the metal part didn't end up showing from underneath. I think you can drill it too, but I didn't feel the need to because I'm not really going to move the shelf a lot, and the weight of the monitor will definitely be enough to just hold it in place. I had some Gorilla Glue from when my glasses broke last year just laying around, so I used that, but I think maybe even like just regular white glue would work too. But on top of the shelf, I have a little tiny candle from IKEA, and then I also have my Nintendo Switch dock. My dock has been modded to have this matcha green faceplate, which matches my setup really nicely. If you're interested in seeing how I did this, I'll put a card in the video and a link in my description for the video that I made talking about how I customized my Switch and my dock. To give myself a bit more storage, I bought this little wooden drawer from IKEA, and I keep my remote for my RGB lights, hand sanitizer, extra cables, tabletop tripod, my Joy-Con comfort grip, and also this little weaved basket that I got from IKEA, and I use it to store all of my Sakura pens. Now that I just listed it all out, I'm actually pretty surprised in how much I'm able to put in that drawer. Beside my shelf, I have an old sketchbook and some old art books that I just don't really know where to put yet. I really love to display them somewhere, I'm just not exactly sure where they're going to be. I also keep my white book here too, which is a little mini whiteboard notebook that I use for work. I also keep some other things that I use for work or for journaling, like my sticky notes, my pencils and pens, and my favorite pastel set of Tombow dual brush pens. Behind my monitor, there's a fake plant, and then I also printed off a lot of images from some of my favorite anime and manga series. I like to add to this periodically. My latest edition has been from In the Clear Moonlit Dusk, which is a cute shoujo manga from the creator of Daytime Shooting Star about a girl with a nickname Prince and a guy also called Prince who becomes interested in her. It's really good, and I think I'll buy the paperback when it becomes available in a few months. Above the manga wall, I have my wall shelf. So this is IKEA's Lack in white, and it is a floating shelf. This little vase I got I thought was really cute with the blue and pink colors, and I think it gives my desk a little bit more color. The little bear is actually a music player that I received as a gift a few years ago, and I have my Fire Emblem Awakening art book behind it. So you guys already know how much I love Fire Emblem Awakening, and I also really love art books. I think it's like just part of being a designer, but I'm super curious and fascinated by the behind the scenes to how characters are created, the different iterations of the storyboard, interviews from like art directors. I find all of that to be super fascinating, so I love buying art books from my favorite series. I also like to keep my spare camera up here, and at the center is my Nintendo Switch. So I customized this to be just like my Nintendo Switch dock, and I have a matcha green Joy-Con on one side and a pastel pink Joy-Con on the other side. And I just think the color combination looks really cute and cozy with my setup. Okay, so what's next? I have Chopper Man, and I have another art book for Dragon Ball. Then finally, I have some fake viney plants on the end that kind of hang down and just give a more cozy kind of feel to my desk setup. These are also from IKEA. To the side of my desk is IKEA's Vilto shelf unit in birch, and I use it to give myself a bit more storage space and add more wooden elements to my desk. So on the bottom, I have my comfy here, which is all folded up, ready for winter, and then I have more journals and also more pens. On the next shelf are my external hard drives, a portable charger, my extra camera lens, and an old watch. And I also have this little plant here that I like to keep alive and water, you know, just plant things. Next is my little Yu-Gi-Oh tin that I really love. I think Battle City just changed everything. My old PSP, and I also have my Lego cherry blossom tree, and this is usually where I keep my camera when I'm not filming. Last but not least is my chair. So I have just one chair that I wheel around and adjust the height for depending on if I'm sitting at my desk, my other desk, or my vanity. But I also really like keeping this cat paw cushion to sit on, which when I was scripting this video, that's when I finally realized that it matched my thumb grip that I have on my Joy-Con. And that just about wraps up my desk tour and my desk setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The more that I started talking about it, the more I realized that, oh, I've had stuff in this setup that I've had for like a year, things I've had for 5 years. I think I've had my PSP since I was like 14 or something. So I don't know, it's just a lot of stuff throughout my life that still spark joy for me. But I think that's like the best thing about seeing desk setups from other people. It's like, it's always unique to them and no one else can recreate it because it's full of items from different parts of their life with some IKEA furniture thrown in. So that takes us to the very end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this one and thank you for watching. As always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!